So in this segment, we're going to be talking about the grip. And there's, my goodness, so many different variations of grip out there. Let's look at purpose once again and anatomy and how your hands personally function. You'll notice that you've got very strong grips, you've got weaker grips, and then you'll notice how the rest of the swing is affected by the way we're holding the club. And then you've got the various opinions to the different commentators and the different teachers that say you must grip it this way and you must hold the hands this way and you must swing this way, depending on what they're looking at. But when you go down deeper to the root for anatomy and purpose, then we really have the answers. So this is what I want for you guys. Now, let's look at a few things in the book that relate to grip here. And Brandel's got some really nice, some really gorgeous pictures. So notice this is Hogan's grip right there. And you look at his index finger and thumb, you'll see that repeated quite a bit. If you look at Byron Nelson's grip, so Byron Nelson had a little bit more of a strong grip. And then you notice he talks about how we're bowing the wrist or how the wrist stays flat. And you'll notice when he talks about Hogan, he talks about Hogan's cupped wrist at the top. Well, if we look at the different aspects of the swing, I'll show you in a minute what that looks like. And he talks about how we're interlocking or overlapping and things like that. There's some beautiful illustrations in the book. This is Mickey Wright's grip right here. Love her grip. And if you look at Lee Trevino's grip, phenomenal. Nice strong grip, great trigger finger, nice position of that right hand. So let's look at this for a second. Now, insofar as the lead hand is concerned, so if I was hammering a nail, you'll notice I'm not going to hold the hammer through the hand this way. This is more for a putting grip. And this takes a lot of the compressing forces out of your anatomy, out of your arm's anatomy. So right here, you'll notice the heel pad's on top, and this is where basically I want to hold the hammer if I'm going to drive a nail, which leads, of course, to grip pressure. Are you going to hold this like a bird? And most of you are thinking, I need to hold the club very lightly, and you end up letting go of the club either in the backswing or the follow-through or in both instances, and you're massively sabotaging your swing in the process. So the grip has to be secure. This is like an extra bone that we're connecting to the rest of the bones of your anatomy. So this is your portable ligament, tendon, and muscle system that's going to wrap around that particular tool or bone. So this feels like I can compress a nail nicely. So when you hold the club in your lead hand, you'll see a nice grip video I entitled Stop Destroying Your Glove. So the acid test, after you hold it, notice I just put my thumb on top. If my thumb is too short, then the thumb will tend to buckle and pry the grip away from your hand. So you don't want that. So I want to put the thumb down in a position that allows me to hinge up and down nicely on what we call the anatomical snuff box. So if we look at this area here, right above your thumb, this is where your wrist is going to hinge, okay? So you would use that for, sorry, I gotta find my camera. Gotta use that for, fishing or throwing footballs. Now you notice when you make, if you go hand straight, I can hinge up and down on that snuff box with it flat. But as soon as I make a fist and I try to keep it flat, I'm a little more restricted. So the hinge part is actually proper right now. This is not cupped. That would be collapsed. That would be collapsed. That's properly hinged. So if I'm going fishing, this is how I'm going to do it. So Hogan's position wasn't really a compensation. It was anatomically sound. Okay, so we look at how you're going to put the trail hand on. Now, I use an overlapping grip, okay? Now, I'm going to put the thumb and the grip. So if it's too long, by the way, and I hinge down, it wants to rub. That's no good. If it's too short, it wants to buckle. So I'm putting the hand in a position where I can hinge up and down and keep the club solid in my hands back and through, okay? However it feels for you, if it feels like a 9 out of 10 for grip pressure, so be it. You can't be letting go of your club, okay? This is your connection now. This is the transfer case of energy from the body to the club, okay? So now you take the thumb and the grip and you'll place that right in the lifeline of your trail hand, and then you're going to wrap the digits. You'll notice in the book, every single one of these players, let's have a really close look here. See how my fingers are wrapping around? So the fingerprints are on the grip mostly, and just a little bit on the thumb. That closes down right there, and then my index hooks on and my thumb comes alongside. So you notice the connection. The purpose of the thumb is just to come alongside the index to prevent the club from falling in this gap at the top of the backswing. See how that works? So from there, it feels like I can apply some nice pressure that way. So my left hand is actually moving and leveraging against that index finger. See that? And you notice how the knuckle of my right index finger is on top of the grip. All right. So that gives me fantastic support at the top of my backswing here, and it gets me fantastic support at the end of my grip. So when I'm swinging back and through without stopping, it feels like both hands are very, very secure on the club and nothing is moving. Well, of course it shouldn't. So look at purpose. If I'm hammering a nail into a door frame, and you'll notice that at the moment of impact, this is really tight. This is very secure. It doesn't mean that you have tension though. Where you usually find tension if you're gripping improperly and you're trying to compress the nail, that's where all the tension comes from. And if you're having a hard time taking a divot, well, that's because you don't have enough pressure to take the divot. And the brain is saying, hey, if we hit the ground, we're going to hurt ourselves, so please don't do that. So it's in that self-preservation mode. But if you've got a very secure grip, then taking divots will be no issue at all. Hitting drivers, no issue at all. Hitting the ball out of thick rough, peeling, all that stuff, no issue at all. But if there's an issue with the grip and it's not connected properly, or the hands are prying off the club, and you have looseness in there, you're going to have some massive short circuits in your swing. So this needs to be addressed in a huge way. If you look at my videos on YouTube, I got tons of videos on grip on YouTube. Go on in there, get dirty, and really secure that grip. It will pay off huge, okay? Enjoy.